Like many of you, I thought Marvel Comics were basically done with Frank Castle, the Punisher. They changed his logo. They basically changed his entire origin story. They changed the reason that he went on his mission. They changed the fact that his wife even loved him ever. She was going to divorce him and end up taking all his money. Basically, Jason Aaron and Marvel Comics did everything in their power to make the Punisher not a thing in Marvel Comics, but they couldn't let it go, right? Because there is money to be made on that Punisher logo. So now they're teasing, maybe we're going to have a new Punisher. And I cannot believe, well, I guess I can believe because it is Marvel Comics, but like the logical side of my brain can't believe just how Marvel have done everything wrong in their power with this Punisher character over the last couple years. Let's get into the story and some of the speculation out there on who the next Punisher might be. Marvel released a teaser today hinting at a brand new Punisher with a Rod Reese piece of promotional art, simply asking, who is the Punisher? This new Punisher figure has another version of Punisher's famous skull logo that has caused Marvel some controversy in recent years. Frank Castle seemed like he was done with the Punisher name at the end of his last series, so it would appear as though this is a brand new character taking on the mantle of the Punisher, or as Frank Castle reclaimed the name. Marvel will reveal all of the answers very soon at Comic-Con International at San Diego. As if you needed another reason not to go to San Diego Comic-Con 2023. There's not going to be any of the big actors, none of the studios are going to be there, and Marvel Comics are going to be there touting their latest version of Punisher. Oh my goodness. It's because nobody's actually interested in the character of Frank Castle. They're not interested in his journey, what he's done in his past. It's just the logo. It's just the character name that's important. They continuously make this stupid mistake over and over and over again, thinking that they can just wholesale change the characters, swap out the actual heroes within these uniforms as if nothing changed or the fans themselves aren't gonna notice. People like the Punisher because the Punisher is Frank Castle. People like Frank Castle's origin story. They like the fact that Frank Castle takes things a little bit too far, goes over the edge a little bit. Hell, there ain't very many things Frank Castle isn't willing to do to a criminal to exact justice after what happened to his wife and child. And that's why people like the character. And Marvel, just what they did with Jason Aaron, you cannot understate just how stupid this was. They basically ruined a character. Even if they were to bring like Garth Ennis back, maybe the best Punisher writer of all times, or a Mike Baron or a Chuck Dixon back to Marvel Comics to write the Punisher character. Do you honestly believe that it would ever sell as well as it would even 6 months ago? Absolutely not, because what Jason Aaron and Marvel Comics did with Frank Castle and his origin story, Frank was always just a serial killer. He was killing people when he was just a little child. He was always selected by the hand. He was always going to be the fist of the beast or hand of the beast and all this stupid stuff. And when he came back, he was a terrible father. He was a terrible husband. His wife and children were absolutely petrified of the man. And she was planning to divorce him all along before she got murdered. And Frank obviously took that murder of his wife and his kids and decided to run with it as a cause of justice, to become an instrument of justice throughout the Marvel Comics universe. Well, that was all for naught. Frank's own wife knows that it's bullshit. She knows that he was full of crap, that he just likes killing people. And that's who the Punisher is, according to Marvel Comics and Jason Aaron. And of course, it's got to be Jason Aaron, because Jason Aaron is the Tom King of Marvel Comics. If you want to ruin a character, if you want to destroy what a character means, if you want to turn people off wholesale to a character, you bring in Jason Aaron and you let him basically destroy that character, which is what he did with the Punisher. There are lifelong Punisher fans, and it doesn't matter what you do with the character now. It doesn't matter if, in the end, Marvel Comics are just, playing a little tongue-in-cheek game with you, and it's Frank Castle as the Punisher all along. It doesn't matter if you bring these great writers back. It doesn't matter if you put a phenomenal artist on the comic book anymore. Because of what Marvel Comics and Jason Aaron did to the character, there is less money to be made with the Punisher today than there was even a week ago. That's how bad it is. They will never ever be able to regain the trust and confidence of those Punisher fans in Marvel Comics. It's not the character. It's not that people are like, oh, I don't like Frank Castle now. He was always a serial killer. His wife didn't like him. I just don't think I like that character anymore. People don't like Marvel Comics because they know it was a Marvel Comics decision. That was because, oh my goodness, police officers and soldiers are wearing the Punisher logo as a representation of their units. Oh, that's just disgusting. Those guys, they're not out there protecting people. Those are all just bigots. Those are white supremacists, because every soldier and police officer in the world is just a white supremacist, according to a very small group of people in America that are absolutely uneducated and completely stupid and make a big deal and ruin absolutely everything. It is worth noting that this new or returning Punisher doesn't use the hand version of the Punisher's skull logo, but still does use a different skull logo than the famous one that the Punisher has been using for 50 years since debuting in Amazing Spider-Man 129. Marvel has had some problems with Punisher's logo in recent years, as it has bizarrely become a popular logo for soldiers and police officers. Naturally, seeing a murderous vigilante logo become a popular police symbol has been a strange situation for Marvel, and it seemed to respond by the Punisher changing his logo to the hand version, and now the new Punisher also has a different logo design. Oh my goodness, they were just in such a terrible spot. Police officers were just going to become mindless vigilantes, torturing people and killing people like Frank Castle does in the Marvel 616 comic books and has for very many years. Soldiers were just going to start murdering people left and right, willy-nilly, like Frank Castle did in some of his comic books when he was in Vietnam. Let's not forget, it wasn't like an actual U.S. soldier who got his commanding officer murdered like when he was in a war zone because of the Punisher logo. No, that was actually Frank Castle in, I believe, his Punisher Max series, right? Punisher Vietnam. When he goes there, he goes, oh yeah, look over that burb, sir. You'll see what I'm talking about. He walks up there, automatically gets shot in the head because he knew there was a sniper there. It's not like Frank Castle's a great guy, and I understand that part. But soldiers and police officers have used the logo as a sign of camaraderie. A lot of people can't really relate to that idea that when you get sent somewhere and it's really dangerous, there is a sense of brotherhood, a sense of fellowship while you're there, and you will look for a common symbol that can, kind of represent who you are and what your mission is, and as a reminder of what you accomplished. When I personally was in Afghanistan, we had a coin minted for our little tiny unit that was embedded with the army, and guess what? Shockingly, there was a Punisher logo on it. Now, we weren't all trying to be Frank Castle. It was just a way to remember the accomplishments that we had done while we were in a very not pleasant place, because I can tell you right now, when you're sitting on the side of a mountain, half a world away from your family, getting shot at every day, and eating absolute dog shit food in the filthiest place on earth, it's not exactly a pleasant experience. And you can't get through it without your brothers and sisters that are there with you. And along the way, you do meet people. You meet people at other units, and you might want to pull out that coin and hand it to them and tell them, job well done. I really appreciate what you did there. Without your help, we couldn't have succeeded today. Or as you're on your way out, maybe you work with somebody for 9 months straight, but you never saw them, right? Because you were stuck on the side of a mountain in Afghanistan and they were on another base. As you're helicoptering your way out of Afghanistan, you might want to give that person a coin as a way of remembering the things that you accomplished together and what you were doing there. When I personally was in Afghanistan, the army unit that I was attached to were the Arctic Wolves. Shockingly, they were out of Alaska, and their coins had Arctic Wolves on them, right? Because that was the nickname of the unit, and that was something that they could all rally around while they were in the shit for a year at a time. And it's the same way with police officers. Every day they go out there, put themselves in harm's way. You never know what's going to happen. You don't know which day might be your last. And sometimes you need a symbol that you can all rally around. And maybe once people see that, maybe your fellow brothers in blue or whatever, and they know what you went through too. And that's as simple as it is. They think, Marvel thinks, and Jerry Conway, the creator of the character, thinks, and a lot of idiots, like an Eric Larson probably thinks this. They're like, well, we're going to change the race of the Punisher character, or maybe even the gender. And now that it's a black character or a woman, none of these white supremacist police officers or soldiers will want to be associated with the logo anymore. I hate to break it to you. That ain't going to change a goddamn thing, because that's not how the world works. And that certainly isn't the reason anyone uses that logo as a symbol of their unit or their time doing something. This shit is so stupid. These idiots think they're fighting racism by destroying a character and making him less valuable, rather than realizing you're just destroying your own IP and giving lifelong readers a reason to never come back. It's as simple as that. Speculation as to the new Punisher's identity has begun, with many fans believing that X-Men franchise's Cable will fill the role. The energy weapons of the new Punisher are similar to those used by Cable, and the upcoming Fall of X era will scatter the X-Men across the world. Punisher has allowed a few select people to use his insignia over the years, including Nigel Higgins, aka Outlaw, and Rachel Cole Alves, and either could work as his replacement, believing the world needs a Punisher. Another outside possibility is Moon Knight. Marvel has recently teased the last days of Moon Knight, and it's possible Mark Spector may be abandoning his own costume identity to become the Punisher. I do not believe Moon Knight is going to become the Punisher, despite what this article is saying. And I don't believe that Rachel Cole Alves will be the Punisher either. If you look at the outline of the character, the character is clearly bald. And if you see Rachel Cole Alves, she has hair. And she's a ginger at that. And I don't think Marvel Comics likes gingers. And I don't think people that are upset with the Punisher logo being adopted by police officers and soldiers and think that's evil. I don't think they like gingers either. So I think we can remove that character. Moon Knight's not going to abandon his identity. Now, the Cable thing does make sense. While the character isn't necessarily bald, although I think I've seen him bald a couple of times, the weapons that Punisher is brandishing in that Who is Punisher thing certainly look like Cable weapons from the future, the little rifles and stuff that he uses as blasters and stuff. Does that fit the Punisher character? Absolutely not. But they're trying to destroy the Punisher character, so I guess that would make sense. But really, I think we all know this is likely to be Nigel Higgins, who is basically the Punisher of the UK. He's a black character, used the same logo, but his was yellow, and there was like a crossbones through the teeth, I believe was the difference in his logo. He's also a much different character. I believe at the end, after he had exacted justice all across the United Kingdom, he used like a magical thingamajiggy, and he brought everyone that he ever killed back because, I don't know, maybe he only killed innocent people. Maybe he was only exacting justice on people that didn't deserve it. Maybe that's why he did that. So he's a much more redeemed character, and he's black. And all these guys that are using the Punisher logo, they're just white supremacists, man. These fucking bigots can't be using that logo. If we put a black man in the Punisher logo and we call him the Punisher, no one will ever want to use it again. Said no one ever. No one in the real world, at least. But these idiots, they think they're fighting white supremacy with decisions like this, rather than realizing they're just alienating their audience and destroying a character that's important, by the way. There are very, very, very few things coming up in Disney MCU Phase 5, whether it be on the big screen or on Disney Plus, or even into Phase 6, I guess, that people are more excited about really than this, Daredevil Born Again. And we know John Barenthal, who plays the Punisher on the Netflix series, was also cast as the Punisher for this revamp of Daredevil. And I imagine you're going to get a Punisher series out of that as well. Should we just wholesale change the character because we're fighting bigots? Or maybe we should highlight what makes Frank Castle a great character, kind of like what Mark Miller did. One of the greatest moments, I think, in character history just from Marvel during Civil War. You remember that moment where the Punisher was trying to help out Captain America? Captain America wouldn't take his help and absolutely beats the piss out of him, which wasn't very Captain America-like, but he did not believe in what Punisher was doing. He didn't believe in his mission, and he thought that he was a criminal. What did the Punisher do? Feels like a Punisher thing to pull out a gun and just shoot him in the head, right? No, he respected Captain America too much. And also, apparently beating the piss out of the Punisher because you don't respect him and you think he's a criminal didn't break his code. Great character moment. That's how you use the Punisher. That's how you have that character interact with other heroes within the Marvel Comics universe. It's unfortunate that we just don't have a lot of professionals at Marvel Comics these days, and they don't know what to do with the character. They don't know the stories to tell, so they've just decided to destroy the Punisher whole cloth and do everything in their power to make Frank Castle a bad guy. He's terrible. There's a soldier sitting overseas getting shot at with a Punisher patch on his uniform. That fucking white supremacist, how could he do this? These guys are all idiots. And of course, Jason Aaron was the weapon of mass destruction for Marvel Comics, as he normally is. If you're not exactly sure, or you would like a reminder of exactly what Jason Aaron did with the Punisher when he destroyed his origin, and I called it right from that fucking moment exactly what they were going to do, definitely check this video out right here. It's really important. There's also a link in the video description.